14th chapter. We stopped over last week with verse 16. Tonight we start with verse 17. And this is where Abram, he had just launched a surprise attack against a large army. He launched an attack with only a few hundred men. He had attacked at night and caused the invading army complete by surprise, is how he caught them. And they went to fleeing and scattering because of the defeat. But what this is all about, it's not so much about the war, it's about the faith that Abram had in God to deliver them, although they was outnumbered. He went into war for one reason, and that was to save his nephew. He had an opportunity to have much, which God had blessed him. But Abram, and we should be more like Abram, not to look to the world or the ways of the world for our wealth. God would give us those things because he owned every one of those things. He said, the earth is mine, the fullness thereof, and all that dwells therein. This is why he says in Matthew 6 and 33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. He said, all these things will be added unto you. So now, if there's no question or comment, we're going to prepare for our lesson tonight, start with verse 17.
The king of Sodom went out to meet them, and after his return from the slaughter of Truelove and of the kings who were with him at the valley of Sheba, which is the king's David.
So now, here it is. What we're seeing here is worldly honor. So there's a decision to be made. And this is something that we need to pay close attention to. The worldly honor was represented in the king of Sodom. Remember that the king of Sodom had escaped death from the hands of the invading army by fleeing and hiding out in a tar or asphalt pit of the salt sea. After the invading army had left the area, he had no doubt returned to Sodom to find that the city had been destroyed. He also found that most of the people and the goods had been taken by the invading army. When the king of Sodom heard that Abram had defeated the invading army and were returning to Canaan with the captured people and the goods, he was bound to be elated, just overjoyed, and in the highest of spirit. The king knew that Abram was a friendly neighbor. He felt he stood some chance of recovering the people, the subjects over whom he had ruled. So according to the law of war and conquest, it was the victor's right to keep the spoil from the victory. The king felt he might be able to bargain and strike a deal with Abram for returning the people to him. He could rebuild his kingdom. Sodom was a city that had given itself completely over to the flesh, to the bright lights and pleasures and possessions of the world. So the picture of Sodom down through the centuries had been that of gross immorality. People living together unmarried, husband and wives cheating on one another, the young engaging in premarital sex, and most tragic of all, people practicing all forms of homosexuality. In addition, lawlessness and violence ran wild in the home and the streets of Sodom. The English word sodomy has even been taken from the city Sodom. Sodomy refers to people who have sex with people of the same sex or with animals. So here we see that the king coming to strike him a deal because he knows now that Abram is in control of everything that they had, because he took back everything that was taken, every animal, every beast, every piece of gold, every piece of silver, every person that had been captured, Abram brought them back. This is why the invaders, when they came in, remember, they stopped paying them the tax. So that's why they was attacked. When they was attacked, they come in and took everything they had. The problem was they messed with the wrong person that was in that city, which was Abram's nephew. Abram, being a man of God, put his trust in God, but he knew that Lot's life was on the line. And he was going to rescue his nephew, which was like a son to him, but he talked to the Lord first. So if there's no question of coming, we notice that he returned from the slaughter. The king that been hiding. You know it's something. When you're supposed to be the leader, and the water that got hot, and instead of you being in battle as he should have been, he done went and hid out. The leader is hiding. Where's the people? Who is he worried about? You know, it's kind of like a ship a while back. The ship went down. They said the fight went off the ship when they were going down with the captain. He was supposed to be the last one off the ship.
Save myself.
But this is exactly what we're seeing here. It's a selfish king that cares only about himself. And you know the bad part about it is that the people's eyes should become open to that, but instead, they don't. It's kind of like us today. When we look at what was just said, it sounds just like today. Today, we're still premarital sex, homosexuality. We talked the other day about a man that married a dog. Why would a man marry a female dog? So it is all type of sex that goes against the word of God. But in our day and time, we excuse it.
Okay.
And we accept it. Some say, well, you know, that's their business. As believers, we stand up for God or we sit down on God. But with that being said, let's get into our next verse.
And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God.
Now look, first of all, we see that the king of Sodom, he come in and want to make a deal. A worldly man to give you honor. We look for honor from the word. You know, we want to be honored in everything we do. Even sometimes in the church, if we do something, we talk about who didn't say that. Don't you understand the thing that you do if you don't get no honor from man? Don't you understand God gonna give it to you? And his arm is much longer than man. But here it is, the godly honor was represented in Melchizedek, the king of Salem, or Jerusalem. Salem is just a shorter name for Jerusalem. Salem had not been attacked by the invading army so far as the records show. But Melchizedek knew that the eastern invaders could have returned and conquered not only Salem, but all of Canaan. Abram had eliminated the danger of attack by defeating the invaders from the east. So Melchizedek was very thankful and appreciative. So he too gathered up his entourage and came out to express his deep gratitude for the great victory won by Abram. Melchizedek was a priest of God, the Most High God. Melchizedek was representing God and bringing the honor of God to Abram. Melchizedek's purpose was not to heap worldly praise and honor upon Abram, but to heap godly praise and honor. Abram deserved the greatest honor, the honor of God himself. Godly honor meet the physical need of Abram. Abram and his small army must have been weary, fatigued, aching to the bone. Most likely some of the men had been wounded in the battle. knowing what the situation is after any major battle. The priests of God brought bread and wine to Abram. And although medicine supplies are not mentioned, we should imagine he brought whatever medicine existed in that day. Because anytime that there's a war, there's going to be injury and tragedy. And when you've been running people down, got them on the run, you're steady, battling, fighting, it can't help but to fatigue you. And it also shows us that God supplies all of our needs. Now let me show you one other thing about this before we go any further. Number one, we saw that the king of Sodom, he come to try to make a deal. Guess what? He didn't bring nothing. But you know what? He didn't have nothing. Because everything had been taken. Everything he had, Abram now possessed it, including the people. Abram could have enslaved all of those people. But he didn't. Abram could have kept everything. But let's go a little further. Because he's going to show us exactly what Abram did. Let's take 19 and 20 and tie them together.
And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, who has delivered your enemy into your hand. And he gave him tithes of all.
Now look at verse 19 and 20. Godly honor met the spiritual need of Abram and his men. How? The priest did the greatest thing he could do. He prayed for Abram and blessed him. He prayed and blessed the name of the Most High. He witnessed to the thousands who were with Abram. Remember, there were thousands of unbelieving Canaanites present when Melchizedek honored Abram. The prisoners who had been freed by Abram, and the soldiers of the Amorites, the Amorite chief who had joined forces with him. The godly honor given by Melchizedek met the spiritual needs of Abram by praying for him and blessing him. And the blessing proclaimed in the presence of thousands surrounding the event met their spiritual need for salvation. What a unique opportunity to witness for God. And Melchizedek did not let the opportunity pass. He bore testimony to the Most High God before both the prisoner and the honor. You see, it's one thing about the man of God. When he belongs to God, every opportunity he gets, he going to take that opportunity to tell somebody about God. You see, everything that happened not wrote on the line. But you can be assured that Melchizedek, he used that opportunity to preach to every one of them that was there. Because there was an opportunity to let the ungodly see what God will do for the godly. Abram was so thankful for the prayer and blessing that he gave a tenth of everything to the priest Melchizedek. This is the first time a tenth or a tithe is mentioned in the Bible. Tithing was apparently a practice of believers from the very earliest of time. Long before the law was given by Moses, both Abram and Jacob tithed. Thus, the argument that tithing was meant only for people under the law is incorrect, because the law had not been given at this time. We should want to honor God with what we have. God made Jesus Christ man's forerunner into heaven, the high priest who paid the way into heaven for man. Jesus Christ was man's high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Hebrews 6:20. It tells you whether the forerunner is for us in it, even Jesus, made an high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a priest that we know no beginning. He's a priest that we know no end. But we do know that he was a priest of God. Melchizedek had no genealogy, not so far as we know. There is no record of his root. Nothing is said about his origin, his parents, or foreparents. In that day and time, it was important for a priest to have a record of his genealogy. If he had no record of his genealogy, he could not serve as a priest. Every true priest in the Bible could trace his root back to Aaron, the Leviticus priesthood, but not Melchizedek. He preceded, was before the Leviticus priesthood. Thus, his priesthood was greater because it was before, as though it had no beginning and no end. Melchizedek means righteousness, and Salem means peace. So it can be said that Melchizedek was the king of righteousness and peace. He was sent to earth to give all believers of Jesus Christ, now who I'm talking about, was sent to earth to give all believers the hope of becoming priests and kings before God. Priests and kings who will live and serve forever in the new heaven and earth.
So
the high priest, the most high God, received tithe of all. Did y'all get that? We, as individuals, I hear people all the time, there's always an argument about tithe. We come up with every type of excuse to try to keep what belongs to us. But I'm here to tell you something. If your money belongs to you, you don't belong to him. And guess what? If you don't belong to him, he don't want your money. He don't want your tithe. Your tithe is obedience. It's sacrifice. To say, Lord, I thank you. You give it to me. Why can't I give back to you? Me personally, I believe that when we talk about tithe and 10%, when you start to have a relationship with God, I'm talking about a true relationship, and you start to grow in him, you start to look at it and say, you know what? I don't want to give him just a small portion. I want to give him more. I found out it says in the book of 1 Corinthians, you cannot be God-given. How many of us will trust God to the point that we'll try to outbeat him giving? Because I'm telling you right now, from experience, you can't beat him giving. I know for a fact, you cannot beat him giving. You hold back on him, you're holding back on yourself. If you walked out in the street right now, you can find a person you don't know. They don't have to be saved. You go in your pocket. You say, look here. Man, I got $100. Would you give me 20 if I gave you this 100? It ain't a person on the street. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got 20 right here. Give me 100. You see, listen to what I said. I said 20. I didn't say 10, did I? How many of us would exchange $20 for $100? Oh, y'all ain't got to say that. Because I already know. That's include me. You can come in now. No, listen, I want to give you $100. Would you give me 20 back? Yes, I will. Yeah. Oh, if my granddaughter said, all day. Yes. But why is it that we want to hold back on God? I had a young man that called me one day and asked me, said, I heard on that Facebook or YouTube or some preacher was talking about tithing in the new Testament, you don't have to tithe. And when they did tithe, they were given fruit and vegetables. Now here it is, you give money. The gentleman that asked me that, I asked him, he said, "That's true that they gave vegetables and fruit?" I said, "That's what they had. They gave what they had." I said, "Now the question I'm going to ask you, see, money wasn't like money is today. When you go to work and you go down and pick up your check, do they give you fruit and vegetables? They give you money. What would you say about the church? If you was in need, you said, "I need your help, my life's going to get cut off, and we bring you some oranges." You would talk about the church and those people like a dog. When we're receiving, we want it all. When it's time to give, we want to hold back. That's a sin to hold back from God. Go ahead, Brother Forte.
Okay. Well, so Salem was like Jerusalem. So Salem was Jerusalem, was the first.
Salem means Jerusalem. If you spell out Jerusalem, what it means?
Salem.
That's what it means, Jerusalem. It means righteous. Remember, Jerusalem only became the capital of Israel after David had defeated those that were there. He took on Jerusalem and made it the capital of Israel. Now I'm going to say something that most people don't like. But Israel, Jerusalem became the capital of Israel later. One man declared, "We're going to make Jerusalem the capital." Now,
Trump.
Listen to what I'm saying. It had nothing to do with the person. It had something to do with the word. And that's what I'm speaking on now. The word. Not the person. The word. Always remember, in the worst of us, there is some good. And in the best of us, there is some bad. So we have to look at things like it is. Any question or comment?
I'm just trying to think of what Melchizedek, if he was already in Salem, like being the high priest, like so Jerusalem was already like being established right there, wasn't it?
Along with Canaan and all the other cities, just like Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other cities that was around there that they came in and took the spoil. It wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah that they took the spoil from. They moved in. They started taking out the small fellas first before they got to them, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So everything is being established. Remember the land of Canaan, who it is that living there. Remember who was named Canaan. Remember who got a curse. Now remember who's also getting a blessing. And what that blessing is the land of Canaan. So what God is doing?
All of that after this here now. What you talking about, Cain and all that? Like, okay, so okay, I'm trying to understand. Like, with Melchizedek, he was like the first high priest, really. Like,
That's what the Bible said.
okay, so he was like the first king of Jerusalem, right?
Now he was a high priest.
So
Turn to Hebrews 7.
But I'm saying, like, what
Verse 1
Melchizedek?
and verse 3.
I'm saying, like, where would he be getting his knowledge from? What I'm trying to understand, like, what would he? Because it wasn't nothing written, nothing yet. So
This
it was
is
like
why
he would be following.
The scripture tells us so much about Christ being like Melchizedek. Melchizedek, we don't know no beginning. We don't know no end. We don't know where it came from. The only thing we know is that the Bible says he was a high priest of God. Anybody in Hebrews 7?
Yeah.
Verse 1.
For this
Stand up.
For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him.
Go and read verse 3.
Without father, without mother, without descendant, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abided a priest continually.
So it's like a type of Christ.
Exactly. A type of Christ. No beginning, no end. Christ, the Messiah, the Creator, the Word that became flesh, our Savior. He's eternal. No beginning, no end. So this is why Melchizedek is spoken so much about Melchizedek. He's a type of Christ. Salem represents righteousness. So has him being a type of Christ. That's like saying that he's a king of righteousness.
Pastor, can I read 15 through 17? Or that kind of.
Yes, sir.
Say, and it is yet far more evident, for that after the similitude of Melchizedek, there arises another priest, who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. For he testifies you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Now, we talking about Christ now. Y'all, look at it good, Al. We talking about Christ here. And look how it's taking Christ and saying Melchizedek was a type. It's God, in the beginning, he started orchestrating everything toward the end. You see, remember, this is about a promise that God done made to a man that don't have no children, and he getting old quick. A promise of being a father of descendants, that the Messiah would come through. A promise that the land of Canaan would be given to him. At this time, Abram had been in the land of Canaan over 10 years. He don't own an acre. Not even a plot. But yet and still, he's believing God for the promise. You see, it's just like us a lot of times. And Abram also, whoever we get on a little for, we get impatient. We don't want to wait on God. I want it now. But Abram's faith had to continue. Everything that God is doing, he's actually showing us what he is doing for us. Right here, he's showing us how Abram went up against not a army. These were great armies and defeated them with a few men. He's showing us if God is our provider, our protector, the one that fight our battle, he takes us into places and then make victory where we cannot see victory. Where we believe there is no victory. Why? Because it looks like it's impossible for what's happening. But this is why Abram prayed first. And he went in believing God would deliver.
And you know, Pastor, it kind of like when that lineage was left out, that meant he was tied into the heavenly lineage. Exactly. He was tied into the heavenly lineage. And just as Melchizedek, his presence strengthened Abraham, just like Jesus strengthened us.
Come on now. Yes, sir.
That's
exactly right. And we're going to see that as we go a little bit further. But now that encouraged him. Listen, the man of God came to supply their needs. They were weary. They have been beaten. They are wounded. They are hurt. They are hungry. They are thirsty. And on top of all of that, they still need some encouragement. The man of God came to bring what they needed. As a type of Christ, he's showing us that Christ will supply all of our needs if we trust him. Any other question or comment?
That's powerful stuff.
It is.
That's powerful stuff.
Come on.
So God sent Melchizedek then.
Let's look at what Scripture says. What verse we just read? 18, what? 19?
What I'm trying to figure out, like, what Abraham did he not know about Salem?
Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God.
Would that be like Elijah?
No, sir. He is a type of Christ. Elijah hadn't got on that type of stand. Remember now, that's the fella that defeated, we said 450 false prophets, but it was actually 850 because 4 of them was out in the grove. But at the same man, that a woman sent him a message.
Took off.
See, Christ don't rule. So you can't put him in that category.
Okay.
So now, what verse 19? We did 19 and 20, right?
Yeah, 19 and 20.
Okay, let's go to 21. Now let's do 21 and 22.
And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the person, and take the goods to yourself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth.
So now, the word of honor tempted Abram to compromise, to keep what he had gained for himself. The word of honor is represented in the king of Salem. He brought nothing, no gift to Abram. The reason was because he had nothing. He had lost everything to the invading army. They had destroyed and ransacked Sodom, taken all the goods and enslaved all the people. What the king wanted was to rebuild his kingdom. And there was only one way he could do this: get the people back. Thus he appeared to Abram. Give him the people, and you take the goods. Take all the gold and the value. You take all the livestock and the possession. This posed a serious threat to Abram, a threat that could have destroyed his witness and ministry for the Lord. What was this threat? This is why we have to be so careful about our walk in life as being a believer, because the world is looking, and what do our testimony look like? The temptation to compromise with the world. Two thoughts must have crossed Abram's mind. Abram could keep everything for himself. He was the conqueror, and in war the conqueror has the right to all the spoil, both the people and the goods. So Abram was one of the strongest, if not the strongest, strength and rulers in Canaan. He could secure the loyalty of the freed prisoners, mobilize them under his rule, and take possession of the promised land. At least much of it was this God's providence, the way God had arranged for Abram to gain possession of the promised land. This thought must have crossed his mind. This is why it's so important for us. Even when things look like this is what God wants for us, we need to make sure that we consult God to find out if this is will. Because with an army, a larger army now, because those that was enslaved, that he brought back, and those that came back with him, he could have took all of them, and then look at all of the wealth that he had. He could have went out and said, this is what the Lord wants me to do now, to take over Canaan that he done promised me. But Abram's wealth and estate would greatly increase. The goods, the gold, and the valuable, the livestock, and the possession that had been recovered from the invaders been enormous. The spoil included the riches and valuables from 5 major cities and many surrounding villages. Such wealth would arouse temptation within any person, even the strongest believer. Abram had prayed before going into battle. He had cast his life and the outcome of the battle upon God. So note how strongly Abram bore witness to God before the unbelieving king and the people. Before those who worship false God, Abram gave credit for the victory to God, and this pointed the people's attention to God. Too many of us, when God used us to do something, we talk about, look what I did. Even people that I come to find out, the Lord might send you on a mission such as we, to start him a house. I hear people saying now, I'm the founder of this establishment, this house. The church is founded on the blood of Jesus Christ. It's not founded on no man walking this earth. And if a man is a founder of the church, that belongs to him. That's why it's so important for us to know the truth. And we follow stuff that's not the truth. And when God uses us, the first thing we want to do is give credit to ourselves. When people go to pat you on the back, they go to puffing you up to how good a job you're doing. You know God to use you to do it. Don't take the credit from him. How can we be a witness when we want people to look at us instead of looking at him? Look what I did. No, you look what God did. God did it, not me. I'm just an instrument, a tool, something for him to use. But it was God that did it. We have to keep in mind, we belong to him. And because we belong to him, he uses us for whatever he needs us for. But when God elevates you, and he will, don't you let your head start blowing up like a balloon. Look what I did. Yeah, under my administration. Where's God in this? Where's your testimony? And you see, with so many unbelievers, the testimony needs to be to God, not Abram. The people don't need to look at Abram as being some kind of savior. It was God that used Abram and protected him to do that. Not Abram. Any other question or comment?
It's just that example where Abram was not, he didn't fall for what the king was trying to offer. Show the importance of relying on the Lord to bless us and not falling for stuff. Like I said, when the cashier, I have to give me, so much money over beyond what I give. I always give it back. Because if you keep it and it's dishonest gain, you ain't gonna be able to hold on to it.
Amen.
You ain't gonna be able to hold on to it. And I know that for a fact. I've seen it happen too many times.
Amen.
So guess what? It's just better for us, to be honest in our dealing with people and let the Lord bless us. Because he can do it much better than anybody else.
Much better than
anybody. Abraham knew right there. He knew better.
And we go a little further, we gonna see it.
And so that's why he took like what Melchizedek gave him instead of the rest of them.
See, Melchizedek brought the need of the people.
Okay.
Food, wine. Why I talk so much about wine? I might need to stop for a minute on that. Water. In that area wasn't like we got water now. That's why you notice so much about Jacob's well, because the water was scarce. It wasn't like, but then at the same time, you got to think about where they were living in. So now they drank wine with their food and different things. Jesus was even called a wine bill. But this is why it talks so much about wine. He didn't have water, big gallon, so much water to drink, but they had more wine.
You can make that
Right from the fruits.
From the grapes.
So Any other question or comment? If not, let's go to verse 23.
That I will not take from a thread, even to a shoelace, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich.
You get no bragging rights here.
Yes, sir. That's why Abram said, oh, you will not tell nobody you to cause them rich. God the one did this for me. See, let me tell you something I found out about people. See, people, and you have to be careful, even when somebody gives you something. Hey, take this. What's the reason?
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, he had to be able to discern. I mean, like, it say that Melchizedek was a priest of the Most High, and like when he came to him blessing him, he said he gave him tithes of all. I'm saying, no, I would think that mean more than just food and stuff. It say all.
No. Abram gave Melchizedek tithe of all.
Oh, okay. Well, I leave
This is why I said, see, our tithe, we should tithe to God of all. If you got it coming in, you should give it to him. Who you think allowed you to get it coming in? But Abram had made a vow to God that he would take nothing, not even a thread or a shoelace that belonged to the king and the people. First of all, Abram knew that war and conquest was not God's way. Neither is a forced godliness. Even if Abram had wanted to keep the people under his rule, he could not force the rescued people to accept Jehovah as their God. Forcing people to live for God is not God's way. God has made man a free creature, a creature who either chooses or rejects God. Abram knew this. He resisted the personal temptation to keep the mobilize the rescued people under his rule. Abram wanted to pray, appear before God, to renounce any personal ambition for going into battle. He was not fighting for greed and profit. He was not fighting for territory, nor for possession, nor rule, nor power. He was not running ahead of God, trying to help God plan along by conquering land and subjecting people to the rule of God. Abram was going to battle for one reason and one reason only: to free his nephew Lot, whom he reared as his own son. Lot had been the only child he had ever known and loved, so this was the reason he was going to battle, not to gain land or wealth, and to force godliness upon people. He made a vow with God before fighting that he would take nothing whatsoever, even the spoil. Abram, he knew that if he accepted the riches offered by the king of Sodom, the king would claim that Abram's wealth and blessings were due to his gift, not to Abram's God. Every chance the king could, he would boast that he had made Abram rich and successful, that he was the source of Abram's success. Abram would also be obligated to the king, expecting to cooperate and go along with the king whenever the king requested it. Abram knew that if he had kept the goods of the people, they would despise him and pay no attention to his witness. But if he acted in compassion and gave the people a choice to either stay with him and trust the Lord, or to return to their land, with their goods, they would be more likely to listen to him. He probably gave anyone who wished the opportunity to come with him and trust the Lord, the Most High God. There is no record for anyone accepting the offer of Abraham. But there was an offer made. And one thing I found out about a man of God, every opportunity he gets, he want to extend an invitation to somebody to accept God. Every opportunity he gets, he want to point somebody to Christ. The last thing that the man of God needs is for the people to see him being opposite of what he said. Because that's going to kill his testimony. Just as it is with us today. And you know, we said, how many times, I don't know what we said, when somebody trying to tell you something, and you know that person, you know their character, you know their lifestyle, time they walk off, you go, I don't know who they think they feel. They come here and took all of our money, they took all of our stuff, and gonna make us worship this God. No, that's going to bring in more animosity. God himself have the power to make any of us do anything. But he don't use his power to make us do. He wants us to want to do. You know, it's just like a parent sometimes. And I know I back years back, I was bad at it. Go grab me so-and-so. You get up like you're, oh, that's all right. I want you, I get upset. Why? Because you don't want to help your own parent.
I must say, Lord.
Are you seeing this? So, wait a minute, look at it. What do God want with somebody to be with him don't want to be with him?
I must say, Lord. I give.
I'm going to make you pray with me.
Don't worry about it, I give.
No, God don't want to make praise. God wants us to want to pray. What God has done for us, first of all, he created. Number one, made us pray. We walked away from God. We chose to disobey God. When I said we, it starts with Adam and Eve, but it rolled on down to us too. Because we have a choice. And sometimes we know right and do wrong. We know God said it, but we'll come up with an excuse and a reason why he don't mean what he said. Now think about what I just said. A reason why God don't mean what he said.
The white man wrote that Bible.
If God said it, he mean it. Why else would he say it? Oh, just practice on words? No. He said it because he means it. Any question? Comment? You know, how many of us?
Tell the truth now.
How many of us? I'm gonna just say, these were millions of dollars. Come now and say again, you talking about 5 major cities. All of the villages around them got cleaned out, all they go to see.
Oh, but could they think that that when Abraham gave Melchizedek like stuff, could they think that he was gonna give them stuff back, some of their stuff back or something?
He gave all that back to him. That's what he did.
But so he ain't. But they ain't want the stuff. They want the people.
That was the king. The king wanted the people. The king of Sodom wanted the people, so he could rebuild the city. So he made a deal with him. You take the money, give me the people. See, I need me some slaves, some folk that gonna rebuild my. You see what I'm saying? So now listen to this. Think about President of the United States. You did something that was good. He come to you and tell you, And you're a man of God now. And what you did it because of God. Everything that happened, God, the one you used to do. He said, I'm going to give you 10 million. You take that and give me those people that you rescued. You take the 10 million. Give me the people. You take the 10 million. Give me the people. It's going to take a man of God, and I'm talking about a praying man. I'm talking about one that's sold out for God. Because the first thing we're going to, 10 million? No, let me do it this way. Let's go up to 100 million. Ooh.
And these are ruling people.
All I want you to do is you give me the people that you can save. You take the $100 million and you can do what you want.
Ain't nothing but a headache.
But now I want you to see this too now. That same president, now you indebted to him.
He owns it. He owns it.
Every time he needs you, he gonna remind you, you wouldn't be where you at if it wasn't for me. This is why it's so important that we need to be careful when we taking something from somebody. Because it will get you in debt. I'm going to give you a little scenario that happened to me when I was over the NAACP. And I had everything organized, and during election time, you know, I had people all over by the county making sure that folks went to the poll to vote. I mean, I had cars and vans and drivers every election. So they found out, folks ain't organized. Folks ain't got folks going to the polls all over by the county. So they sent a gentleman to me. Gentleman came to me, had an envelope. Envelope so fat he couldn't close it. He said, listen. He said, we want to help you during the time of the election. He was sensing. Want to help you during the time of the election. He said, you can take this and help you with your gas. And then he gave me a stack of ballots. He said, now you give this to all of your drivers and everybody they take to the poll, you pass out the ballots. Now, don't that look kind of innocent? Okay, well, let's say if I'm a Democrat or Republican or whatever, they give me an opportunity to push the people that are the party that I'm with on it. But one problem. The NAACP is a civil organization, not a political organization. So I told the gentleman, I said, no, I said, you keep that. I said, we don't need no gas. I said, the organization takes care of all of that. I said, but what you can do is, when we have our Freedom Fund banquet, if you want to support us, that's good. You can come and support us. You want to make a donation, that's fine. But now I'm not going to put ballots in a civil organization and use it for a political organization. Why? Because they're going to be from my game. Oh, that envelope like that? Oh, that would have fattened my pocket up pretty good. I could have took my wife on vacation. So now I watched it. And it's a true story. After I turned it down, it was the midterm then. Main election coming. Oh, they didn't come to me the next time. They didn't send nobody the next time. They called. Can you meet with me at my office? I went over there and talked with him. So this the man himself now. That man pulled out a stack of $100 bills. You know how they just look like they come off the press where you got the
Fresh out of ATM.
And see, he didn't come with an envelope. He come with them stacked up. Put them in my hand. He said, all I need you to do is just help us out with the balance, because I know you have people all over the state. I put them back in his hand. I said, I can't do that. I said, we are a civil organization. I gave him the same offer. We have our Freedom Fund bank. You want to support us, you can. The same thing happened to some other people. They bought and paid for it. I had a slogan that I went by, and I believed it. My slogan was unbought and unbossed. And I didn't mind putting it out there. Unbought and unbossed. You see, I can't work for man and God. I already, see, if I've been bought with a price, paid for.
Mm-hmm.
I belong to somebody else. I can't sell myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
This is why there's so many people that's in politics or in positions and have titles because of what they call power and the things that they can do with that title. That's why you see people can't hardly walk. But they won't give up their position. I'm not giving up this. I'm going to die to this position. Why? Because I'm looking at the power. People looking up to me. But then let's get the last verse here. So we'll start with the 15th chapter when we come back.
Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me. Adar, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their portion.
Look at Abram. The man of God ain't thinking about himself. He's thinking about others. Abram had exercised justice. He gave the rights of conquest, the rights to share in the spoil, to those who had joined him in the battle. Did the 3 Amorites, tribal chiefs, take their share of the spoil? Scripture don't say. Perhaps the suffering of the rescued prisoners and the testimony of compassion shown by Abram affected them. So perhaps they too allowed the people to keep their goods. See, your testimony will have an effect on somebody else, whether it's good or bad. That's why it's so important for our testimony, our lifestyle, to be a testimony not to us, but to God. Why do you think he said, let your light so shine before me that they may see your good work, but glorify your Father which is in heaven? He didn't say glorify you. He said glorify your Father. He said, lift me up, and I'll draw all men unto me. How do we lift him up? In our everyday life. By living the way that God wants us to live as an example to the world. What greater testimony the people could see. Abraham gave up, and you know what? That'll make another person say, man, Abraham, I ain't gonna take nothing here. I'm good. And it'll kind of like dominoes. Because as they go further down the line, the other person feel kind of, ain't nobody else taking nothing, I better not take nothing either. Your righteous life can cause another person to live a righteous life by watching you. We can build up the kingdom with our life, or we can tear down the kingdom with our life. Once we say, ain't got nothing, you ain't got to say I'm a believer. All you got to say is, I go to church. Once you say I go to church, people in the world, guess what? All of a sudden, your life will come under a microscope.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 things I'm going to tell you people will do to you. Number 1, they're going to look at what you're doing. If you slip, they're going to, man, I thought you were going to church.
I don't tell them.
I ain't know church folk act like this.
Not me.
That's the first thing is. The next thing is, well, I don't go out there to my some church. Look how them folks act.
That's so proud.
Now listen to me. Abram is in a stage of growing. He's Abram now, not Abraham. There's a reason that his name changed, along with his wife. Abram was growing. Guess what we're doing?
No.
Growing. Do children make mistakes?
Yes.
Will children be hard-headed? Do children have to see for themselves sometimes? What God called us is what?
Children.
What did he say he do to his children that he loved? Why do you think he chasing us? The same reason we chasing our children. Get your butt back in line. That's what God is telling us. When we get out of line, he go to woman to get you. You know better than that.
Move your hand. I told you to move your hand.
Abner went all the way back. I said, didn't I tell you to move your hand?
My back. You should be still.
But God chasing us because he loved us. And just as Abram had to grow in his faith, we have to grow in ours. Just as Abram made mistakes, we're going to make some. The difference between Abram and us is we can look back at his mistakes and try not to make it. He couldn't look at us and see out and being his example. He had to live his way through. We have the word to show us our way through. The word came to him straight from God. The word come to us straight from God. It don't change. That's why he said the word is true. And Jesus said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. And John said the word became flesh and came down and dwelled among us. We beheld his glory, received him not. So you see the word, whether it's the written word or the living word, it's still pointing to Christ. Any question or comment?
No, stop.